Ever wonder why some people seem to glide through life while you struggle for every inch? Why certain individuals always end up on top no matter where they start? Why the rules everyone follows don't seem to apply to the people running the game? There is a reason for this, and it is not what they taught you in school. I am about to expose 8 laws of power that society has deliberately hidden from you. Laws that the elite understand from birth. Laws that separate those who rule from those who serve. Laws so dangerous that speaking them openly was once punishable by death. And still today, these truths are buried under layers of comfortable lies. You've been taught to play fair, to wait your turn, to trust the system, to believe that hard work alone leads to success. Meanwhile, the people at the top are playing an entirely different game with entirely different rules. Rules they'll never teach you because your ignorance is their advantage. Here is what makes this dangerous. Once you see these laws, you can't unsee them. You'll recognize them operating everywhere. In your workplace, in your relationships, in politics, in every power dynamic you've ever experienced. And you'll finally understand why you've been losing a game whose rules you never knew existed. Machiavelli documented these laws 500 years ago. He was exiled for writing them. His books were banned. The powerful wanted these secrets to stay secret, because when the masses understand how power really works, the powerful lose their edge. By the end of this video, you'll possess knowledge that most people never access. 8 dark laws that will transform how you see every interaction, every relationship, and every system you are part of. Are you ready to see the world as it really is? Drop this affirmation in the comments. I see the game. Dark law number 1. Your reputation is more valuable than your reality. Here is something that will fundamentally change how you operate. What people believe about you matters more than who you actually are. Perception isn't just reality. Perception is everything. Think about how decisions are made about you every day. Job offers, promotions, relationships, opportunities, are these based on deep knowledge of your true self? Never. They're based on reputation, on what people have heard, on the story that precedes you into every room. Society tells you to focus on being good. But the dark truth is this: a person with a great reputation and average skills will outperform a person with average reputation and great skills every single time. The world doesn't reward who you are. It rewards who people think you are. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." He understood that appearances aren't shallow concerns. They're the primary currency of power. Your appearance, your reputation, your perceived value, these determine your actual options in life. The powerful guard their reputations obsessively. They understand that one perception shift can undo years of work. They invest more in how they're seen than in who they are because they know where the real returns come from. Here is the practical application. Stop hoping people will see the real you and start actively shaping what they see. Control your narrative. Manage your image. Craft your reputation as deliberately as you'd craft any important project, because your reputation is your most important project. Robert Greene noted, "Do not leave your reputation to chance or gossip. It is your life's artwork, and you must craft it, hone it, and display it with the care of an artist." This isn't vanity. It is survival. It is understanding that the game rewards perception, not reality. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my image. Here is a specific technique. Audit your reputation quarterly. Ask trusted sources what people say about you when you are not in the room. This information is gold. It shows you where perception and reality diverge. Where perception is better than reality, reinforce it. Where it is worse, correct it through strategic demonstration. Remember, your reputation exists whether you manage it or not. The only question is whether you'll let others write your story or whether you'll write it yourself. Passive people let reputation happen to them. Powerful people make reputation happen for them. Dark law number 2. Self-interest drives everything. Here is a truth so uncomfortable that entire philosophies exist to deny it. Every person you meet is primarily motivated by self-interest. Every single one, including the ones who claim otherwise, especially the ones who claim otherwise. Society teaches you that people are fundamentally good, that altruism is natural, that others have your best interests at heart. This is a beautiful lie that makes you easy to manipulate. The truth is that everyone is playing for themselves, always. This doesn't mean people are evil. It means they're human. Evolution programmed us for self-preservation. Our brains literally prioritize our own survival and success. When someone helps you, they're getting something: status, feeling good about themselves, future favors, something. Machiavelli observed, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who deceives will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived." People want to believe others are selfless. This want makes them blind to obvious self-interest. Don't be blind. The powerful understand this law instinctively. They don't take help at face value. They always ask what is in it for the helper. They structure relationships around mutual benefit because they know appeals to pure goodness are unreliable. Here is how to use this law. Stop being surprised when people act in their self-interest. Expect it. Plan for it. When you want someone's help, show them how helping you serves their interests. Make their self-interest your ally, not your enemy. This law also protects you. When someone offers something that seems too good, ask what they're getting. When someone claims pure motives, look for the real ones. Not with cynicism, but with clarity. Understanding self-interest doesn't make you cold. It makes you accurate. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I see the real motives. Dark law number 3. Enemies are more reliable than friends. This one's going to challenge everything you believe about loyalty. Your enemies will behave more predictably than your friends. And in the game of power, predictability is valuable even when it is hostile. Think about it. Your enemy wants to defeat you. That is clear. That is constant. You know exactly what they want and can plan accordingly. But your friend, today's friend, might be tomorrow's rival. Today's ally might become jealous of your success. Friendship creates complexity that enmity doesn't, Machiavelli warned. Men ought either to be well treated or crushed, because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries. Of more serious ones they cannot. He understood that half-measures create the most dangerous enemies, but he also understood that clear enemies are easier to handle than unclear friends. The powerful often keep former enemies closer than friends. Why? Because a converted enemy is grateful and has proven their capability. A friend who has never been tested remains unknown. You don't know what they'll do under pressure until pressure arrives. Here is the practical truth. Never fully relax around friends in contexts where interests might conflict. The betrayal that hurts most comes from those we trusted most. Meanwhile, enemies provide useful information through their opposition and rarely surprise you. Robert Greene wrote, "Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy." This doesn't mean avoid friendship. It means understand that friendship doesn't eliminate self-interest. It sometimes amplifies it through proximity and expectation. Use this law by maintaining clear awareness in all relationships. Value enemies for the clarity they provide. Don't blindly trust friends in situations where their interests might diverge from yours. And always remember that loyalty is tested in conflict, not comfort. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I trust with open eyes. Here is a practical application. When giving friends power or opportunity, observe how they handle it. Small amounts of power reveal character that friendship obscures. Someone who abuses small authority will destroy you with large authority. Test before you trust. The wisest operators maintain multiple relationships at different depths. They have friends they trust socially, but not professionally. Allies they trust professionally, but not personally. And very few they trust completely. This isn't paranoia. It is accurate risk assessment. Dark law number 4. Never outshine the master. Here is a law that has destroyed countless careers and relationships. Those above you need to feel superior. The moment you make them feel inferior, you become their target. Society tells you to always do your best, to shine as bright as you can, to display your talents fully. This is advice that ignores power dynamics entirely. In any hierarchy, your excellence is only valuable if it doesn't threaten those above you. Machiavelli observed rulers closely and noted how quickly they turned on advisors who made them feel inadequate. The most capable people were often the first eliminated, not despite their capability but because of it. The powerful understand this instinctively. They make their superiors feel brilliant. They let bosses take credit. They frame their contributions as extensions of their master's vision. They know that a threatened superior is a dangerous superior. Here is the practical application. Assess every situation for whose insecurity you might trigger. Make those above you feel like the source of your success. Let them believe they're brilliant, and you are merely competent. Your advancement depends on their comfort with your presence. Robert Greene stated, "Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please and impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite, inspire fear and insecurity." This is survival wisdom in any hierarchy. This law has an exception. When you are ready to replace the master, then outshine them, but only when you are prepared for direct conflict. Until then, strategic underperformance and visibility keeps you safe while actual performance builds your capability. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I shine strategically. Dark law. Number 5. Conceal your intentions. The moment people know what you want, they can prevent you from getting it. The moment they see your plan, they can counter it. Total transparency is total vulnerability. Society celebrates openness. Be honest. Be transparent. Wear your heart on your sleeve. This advice makes you predictable, and predictable people are controllable people. They're easy to manipulate because everyone knows exactly how they'll respond. The powerful maintain mystery. They keep their ultimate goals hidden behind layers of misdirection. When they move toward an objective, they appear to be moving somewhere else entirely. Their true intention is revealed only when it is already achieved. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise ruler ought never to keep faith when by doing so it would be against his interests." This isn't about lying constantly. It is about strategic information management. Not everyone deserves to know your plans. Most people shouldn't. Here is how this works practically. When asked about your goals, give plausible answers that aren't your real goals. When people try to understand your strategy, let them believe something false. Not hostile deception, just protective ambiguity. Sun Tzu wrote, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt." The element of surprise multiplies your power. Telegraphed moves are easy to block. Hidden moves are devastating. Use decoy intentions. Let people think you want one thing while pursuing another. When you achieve your real goal, they're still defending against your fake one. This isn't paranoid. It is how every sophisticated player operates. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My plans are mine alone. Here is the advanced technique. Create multiple plausible narratives about your intentions. Let different people believe different things. When they compare notes, the conflicting stories don't expose you as a liar. They expose the impossibility of knowing your true plans. The masters of concealed intention also use the long game. They position pieces for years before the true strategy becomes visible. By the time observers understand what is happening, it is already too late to counter. Your patience in concealment is your power in execution. Dark law number 6. Use selective honesty to disarm. Here is a dark truth about trust. Small admissions of truth create false sense of full honesty. Selective vulnerability opens doors that strength cannot. Society teaches that honesty is absolute. You are either honest or dishonest. But the powerful understand that strategic honesty is the most effective form of persuasion. A small truth makes people believe everything else you say. When you admit a weakness freely, others stop looking for weaknesses. When you share a small secret, they assume you've shared all secrets. Your voluntary vulnerability becomes a shield that protects everything you are actually hiding. Machiavelli understood that appearing honest is often more powerful than being honest. It is necessary to know well how to disguise this characteristic and to be a great pretender and dissembler. Not dishonest, but strategic about what honesty reveals. The powerful use this constantly. They confess small sins to appear self-aware. They admit minor errors to seem humble. They share selective truths to build trust that serves larger purposes. None of this is technically lying. It is all true, just not all the truth. Here is your application. When you need someone's trust, give them a truth that costs you something small. An admitted flaw, a confessed mistake, a shared insecurity. This opens them up while keeping your important secrets protected behind their new trust. Robert Greene observed, "One sincere and honest move will cover over dozens of dishonest ones." This is the mathematics of trust. A single genuine admission purchases credibility that covers everything else. The ratio is absurdly favorable. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose what truths I share. Dark law number 7. Create dependence, not gratitude. Here is a law that sounds harsh but reflects reality perfectly. People forget favors, but people never forget needs. If they need you, they'll stay. If they merely appreciate you, they'll leave when convenient. Society teaches you to earn gratitude through generosity. Help others, and they'll help you. Be kind and kindness returns. This sometimes works, but dependence always works. The person who needs you can never leave you. Gratitude has a half-life. Someone you helped last year barely remembers it today. Someone who needed you yesterday still needs you today. Gratitude decays. Dependence persists. Structure your relationships accordingly. Machiavelli wrote, "The bond of love is one which men, wretched creatures that they are, break when it is to their advantage to do so. But fear preserves you by a dread of punishment which never fails." He is not advocating cruelty. He is observing that need-based relationships survive, where appreciation-based ones don't. The powerful make themselves indispensable. They hold unique knowledge. They control crucial relationships. They position themselves at irreplaceable nodes in whatever system they operate in. Their value isn't in being liked, but in being needed. Here is your application. In every relationship, ask what you provide that cannot be easily replaced. If the answer is nothing unique, you are vulnerable. Build capabilities, knowledge, and positions that create necessity. Make yourself the person others cannot afford to lose. This doesn't mean being cruel or withholding. It means being strategic about where you add value. Concentrate your contribution where it creates maximum dependence. Spread it thin and you are replaceable. Focus it deep and you are essential. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I make myself necessary. Here is the tactical application. Identify the 3 most important things you provide in any relationship or organization. Double down on the most unique one. Make yourself so good at that irreplaceable thing that finding a substitute becomes impossible. Depth beats breadth in creating dependence. Also understand the flip side, where others create dependence on them. Recognize it. Don't become dependent on any single person for anything critical. Diversify your sources. Maintain alternatives. The person who depends on no one can never be controlled by anyone. Dark Law number 8. Master your emotions or others will master you. The final law is perhaps the most important. Your emotions are handles that others can grab. The more visible your emotions, the more controllable you become. Society celebrates emotional expression. Be authentic. Show your feelings. Let people see the real you. But every emotion you display is intelligence gathered by everyone watching. Every reaction you have is data that can be used against you. The powerful maintain emotional opacity, not coldness, but control. They feel everything but show only what serves their purpose. They never reveal which buttons actually work. They perform emotions strategically rather than leaking them unconsciously. Machiavelli observed that rulers who showed fear invited challenge. Those who showed anger were easily provoked. Those who showed desire were easily manipulated through it. Emotional control is the foundation of political survival. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This Stoic wisdom is pure power strategy. Your internal state is the one thing you can control completely. Make it your stronghold. Here is the practice. Notice when emotions rise. Create space before expressing them. Ask whether showing this emotion serves your interests. Often the answer is no. Often silence or neutral response is more powerful than authentic emotional display. This doesn't mean suppression. Feel everything fully, but express strategically. Your emotions are valuable. Spending them on every provocation depletes your power. Saving them for strategic moments multiplies their impact. Robert Greene concluded, "If you are unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution." Emotional mastery removes doubt from your actions. When you control your reactions, you control your execution, and controlled execution is powerful execution. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I master my emotions. Here is what happens when you understand all 8 dark laws. When you guard your reputation, expect self-interest, stay vigilant with friends, avoid outshining superiors, conceal your plans, use strategic honesty, create dependence, and master your emotions. You become something most people never become. Genuinely powerful. First, you stop being surprised by human nature. The betrayals, the manipulations, the self-interest, none of it shocks you anymore. You expected it. You prepared for it. You turned it to your advantage. Second, you start winning in situations where you used to lose. Not through aggression, but through understanding. You see the game clearly now. You play the real game instead of the pretend one everyone else plays. Third, you become difficult to manipulate. When people try their usual tactics, they find you unresponsive. You've seen behind the curtain. You know what they're doing and why. Their power over you evaporates. Fourth, you develop genuine strategic capability. These laws compound. Understanding one helps you apply another. Together, they create a worldview that generates effective action in any situation. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." You've just received wisdom that most people never access. Don't be the fool who waits years to apply what the wise apply immediately. If you've made it this far, you are not like most people. Most people couldn't handle these truths. They need comfortable illusions. They need to believe the world is fair and people are good and the system rewards merit. But you've stayed, which means you are ready for reality. These 8 laws aren't about becoming evil. They're about seeing clearly. You can be a good person who understands power dynamics. You can be ethical while being strategic. You can be kind while being unmanipulable. The laws don't corrupt you, they protect you. The world is exactly as it has always been. Only now you can see it. The people who've been using these laws against you will find that you are no longer an easy target. The situations that used to defeat you will start bending to your understanding. If this video revealed the hidden rules you needed to know, smash that like button. If you know someone who is being destroyed by games they don't understand, share this with them. And if you want more content that shows reality behind the illusions, subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now drop this final affirmation in the comments. I know the dark laws. Remember, in a world where most people are blindly stumbling through power dynamics they don't understand, the one who sees the dark laws clearly holds all the advantage. Be that person, master these 8 laws, and watch how everything changes when you finally stop playing the fake game and start winning the real one. Because the game was always being played, the only question was whether you'd learn the rules before it was too late. Now you know. What you do with that knowledge is up to you. Starting today, watch these laws operate around you. Notice how reputation shapes opportunity. See self-interest behind every generous act. Observe friends becoming rivals and enemies becoming predictable. Watch the talented destroyed for outshining. See intentions concealed and selective honesty deployed. Watch dependence trump gratitude. Notice who controls their emotions and who is controlled by them. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you can't unsee it, you can finally start playing the real game. The game that was always being played around you. The game where you now hold cards you never knew existed. Welcome to reality. Now go win.